Minister Feehan, welcome to the House. It's my first time to meet you in this House since your elevation. Congratulations, it couldn't happen to a better guy. I've always been a fan of yours. You're a pretty decent guy, so welcome. The speech just made by Senator Dooley gives me great heart for Shannon. There's an awful lot of good stuff that he put in there. My first visit to Shannon was in 1963 when I went there with a sister of mine that won a flight around Ireland, and I thought it was the most awesome place in the world. My next visit there was in 1968 as I emigrated from Ireland to London because my father wouldn't let me take the boat. Minister, I fully support my colleagues in Sinn Féin, Senator Gavin, who has made an excellent case for the workers that SIPTU represent and the wider community in Clare, Limerick and Galway, and indeed the country at large. If the citizens of these counties are looking for government reassurance in their amendment to the Sinn Féin motion, then there is none to be found there, I regret to say. In fact, it's an insult to those families affected to say the government recognises the difficult decisions Shannon Group has had to take in recent months to reduce its costs and the impacts of these measures on the employees of the company, which are deemed necessary to enable the Shannon Group to secure the future of the airport so that it is well placed when the sector recovers from this crisis. Now, Senator Dooley has gone out of his way to find alternative employment for staff from Shannon. And I want to place my gratitude on record today to Senator Dooley for that, and I can see he genuinely wants to work with Senator Gavin in protecting jobs. Minister, this is almost a textbook example of logical fallacy, as it intimates that the sector will recover from the crisis without contribution and commitment of a loyal workforce and without specific proactive measures from government. And Senator Dooley has made that case very, very clearly in his speech today. The government commitment is so vague and lacking in substance as to be no commitment at all. It will be no consolation to the employees of the Shannon Group to hear that the government commits to undertaking an examination of future viability and sustainability of the Shannon Group and is considering financial supports and other measures that may be necessary and appropriate as part of the wider review of Shannon Group. Minister, we often use the term time is of the essence in this House. We're in the middle of a global pandemic and cannot afford the luxury of considering and examining. SIPTU representatives have already been before the COVID committee making a sensible and strong case for specific considerations for aviation workers in the Shannon Group, and indeed some of my colleagues have already referred to aviation workers all over the country, and I would like to compliment Cork Airport as well today for the work they have done in promoting that airport. It's easy to promote Dublin, but Cork has done a marvellous job, and I'm sure my colleague Senator Buttimer will make that case in the not too distant future. I fully endorse the SIPTU recommendation that the extension of the TWSS for the aviation sector be extended until the summer 2021 and be conditional on binding commitments from the employers. We need a reassurance today, Minister, that no worker will be laid off on a compulsory basis while the employer is benefiting from TWSS, and any recovery of the aviation sector will be predicated on strong links between the Shannon Group and its employees. I also fully support workers' rights to make contributions to their pension scheme from the TWSS, and that any changes to their terms and conditions of employment are agreed via collective bargaining process. I noted with interest, Minister, that Clare County councillors, including those from the government parties, have called for a reversal of the Shannon Airport independence. When the airport was removed from the DAA umbrella, there were promises of 2.5 million passengers a year. Even before the COVID pandemic led to the current crisis in aviation, these figures were never realised, despite the outstanding work of the Shannon Group. Now is the ideal time to restructure the airport sector in Ireland so that when the pandemic has abated, the sector is robust and fit for purpose. As they say, a good crisis should never be wasted, and I support the Clare councillors and my Sinn Féin colleagues to bring Shannon Airport back under the DAA. And I'll make the point at this stage, Senator Dooley specifically mentioned Éireann, and maybe the DAA is not the right vehicle. And Senator Dooley, Senator Gavin, they're living in the area, they know more than I do. Maybe you're right, maybe we need Éireann back, or some similar body, where we do not have the dominance of Dublin looking at the other two regional airports. I know that Deputy Maurice Quinlivan has already raised this in the Dáil with the Minister, and that the Minister has met with the unions. Felt that a change would take 2 or 3 years and it would not solve the underlying strategic issues. And again, I think Senator Dooley has made that point, and Senator Gavin in his speech has. We have to make strategic decisions on Shannon, and I'm not sure that reconnecting to the DA would immediately assist in that. But I am sure that we do need a governing body for the airports. I would be grateful if the Minister could expand and explain on why Shannon is not being brought back in under a national umbrella. The airport, going back to the 1980s when I lived in Limerick and lived there right through to the mid-1990s, Shannon was a proud workforce, but always struggling. As long as I can remember, Shannon was struggling. So from the point of view of bringing Shannon back on stream, we need investment. We need a centralised authority that will manage all of our airports. And we need to guarantee the jobs. I think Senator Dooley made the point that workers expected that their terms and conditions would automatically transfer. I know you've been working on that, Senator Gavin, in your work with SIPTU, but that didn't happen. That did not happen. And Shannon has been pushed further and further out all along. And that's something that we really have to change. Colleagues here have made some statements with respect to Knock Airport and its strategic importance to the northwest region. Shannon is vital to the Midwest. And it is vital, Limerick City. One of the great things about moving to Limerick, Shannon, Clare is that the people there actually are quite cosmopolitan. They're quite welcoming of strangers coming in to their county. Because of the Shannon development area, we had foreigners coming into Shannon from South Africa, when De Beers Diamond set up down there, and various other countries around the world. And it made Shannon a really welcoming place. Clare, particularly Ennis, benefited from that, and Limerick benefited from that. So the knock-on implications of Shannon are massive in that region. They are truly massive. And what we need is not an amendment to Senator Gavin's motion. What we need is Senator Gavin's motion to be accepted.
Thank you, Senator Craughwell.
I'll finish on that. And I do wish my colleagues the very best as they move forward. And I do hope that we can work together on this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.